Perashat Shemot. This Shabbat we're gonna read Perashat Shemot. It talks about the beginning of the Egyptian exile, and and then also the emergence of Moshe Rabbeinu as our prophet and our leader, and the beginning of the redemption of the Egyptian exile. The Torah describes how the Egyptian torture the Jews. It says, "Vayavidu Mitzrayim et bnei Israel befarech." The traditional explanation is befarech means that back-breaking work. And then وَمَرِّرُوا حَيِّهِمْ بَعْبُدَ كَشَّى, and they made their life bitter بحمر وبالبنيم, making break it كَوَتَمْ شَعْبُدُ وَهِمْ بِفَارِخ. It repeated again that it was a back-breaking type of work. We see also the same word befarich in Perashat Vehar. It says, later when somebody owns a Jewish slave, the Torah says, later day bo befarich ve'areta me'elohecha. Do not govern him with back-breaking work. Ve'areta me'elohecha. Rashi says that what does it mean befarich? It says melacha shelo letzorech kedei la'anoto, which means that you don't need the work. You are doing it only to torture him. And he gave an example that warm me this cup of water when you really don't need it, because at that time during Rashid there was no electricity, there was no gas. They have to bring wood, and it was a very big deal that you shouldn't do that, or that you give him a job that is ill-defined. Like the Rashi give an example that you dig the tree here until I come back. I mean, and the Torah says that ve'areta me'elohecha, you should fear God. So it's give us the mitzvah in very stern way that you have to fear God. That don't do that. And then a few pasukim later, it says u'ba'achechem bnei Israel ish be'ahiv lo terdei bo befarech. That he's saying ish be'ahiv lehavi nasi be'amav u'melech b'msharetav shelo lerdot bo befarech. He's giving a mitzvah that even a president for his citizens and king for his servants, that you cannot tell them to do something only without any utility, only for them to do the work. And Harambam also says in Halachot Abadim that it is forbidden to have him work only to keep him busy. We can't do that. This is called Abudat Farich. So this is one thing. There is also Midrash that says that Piton ve'etram says that there was this agreement between Rab and Shmuel, what is really the name of the city. Basically, they are both in agreement that the Egyptians, they asked the Jews to build the cities on marshland, meaning that it was not solid ground where buildings can stand up. So every 2 meters, 3 meters when they build, it crumbles. So here we don't have only the Jews were not only agonizing because of the fact that they were doing heartbreaking job. They are psychologically agonized and demoralized because they see that there is no fruit from the labor that they are doing. Because if somebody does something useful, even for any purpose, he feels that some kind of satisfaction. Here they deny them even that. So you can see how much reshaim, how much wicked the Egyptians were, that they torture them without any benefit to them whatsoever. So here we can learn from here how important that, how distress and demoralize somebody will come when he doesn't see fruit of his labor, of his toil. And probably many of us know the story that one time there was a citizen who was condemned to prison with hard labor. So they ask him every day that for 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, and 2 hours in the evening that he has to pull a wheel. And it was very heavy. He put all his effort and he was sweating. So one day he asked the prison warden, he told him, what is this for? What I'm doing? He told him it is attached to a mill upstairs, and they put wheat, and it becomes flour. So the prisoner felt good about himself, he said, and he started to fantasize that in the morning he said that now I'm making bread for a mother to feed her baby, and then he said that here there is a hungry person who is eating this bread, how delicious it is, and so on and so forth. And that what gave him the stimulus to continue to do the work in a bearable way. And then his term was finished, and he asked the warden, he told him, can you come show me the mill? And he took him up, he saw nothing. He told him, where is the mill? He told him there was no mill. We put this tube here in the middle with tremendous friction, and there is no mill. When the prisoner heard that, he was so disappointed that he jumped from the roof and he killed himself, because he felt during that time that he was doing something, but the truth, he realized that it is all in vain, he just couldn't take it. And in life we have we all have this experience. We feel so bad that we did something that without any results, and God forbid, a million times, I hope no one will see this. And this is what agonizes me, that we have, as I said, I'm doing this parasha, it is dedicated to the memory of my sister, who was brutally murdered in Syria, she and her 2 children. We couldn't tell our parents what happened because they will be absolutely devastated. And the devastation, not only because they loved her, but because all the toil that they put to bring her up went for nothing. And this is, I hope that no one will have this experience ever of any human being. And it has also so we have also practical implication to this issue, that لا تعبدوا عبودة بارق. I read one time that in a yeshiva in Jerusalem, somebody was making a mess. So the rabbi told him that you are عبير على لا تعبد he told him that that you are transgressing the mitzvah of don't ta'bud b'farech. He told him, what I'm doing, I don't have Ibid. He told him, there is the guy who cleans here, you are making him to do something that is not necessary. If you didn't make the mess, he wouldn't have to do this work. And so you are really transgressing this. It is frightening to realize that whenever we do something that is wasteful, that we have to think about the consequences, that somebody else has to work to compensate for that. But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't start to look at what we do and try to curtail that as much as possible. So now, On the other hand, now that we saw how it is distressful and demoralizing for us to see that our labor and work went into vain, we psychologically try to prevent that from going into vain, sometimes to our detriment. We all know people who got involved in bad investment, and they don't want to part with that because they put money, they studied the project, they had to take authorization from the government and so on and so forth, and then it didn't work out. They put more money, and it becomes money pit, and then at the end, it's no good. So somebody has to have wisdom to realize that sometimes it is better to part with that toil that is in vain. I do remember probably many of our listeners know a movie called The Bridge on the River Kwai. It came out in the 50s. The main actor was Alec Guinness, a British fellow. And I saw it probably 50 years ago. In the early 60s, I was in Halab, but it stayed in my mind until now, more than 50 years ago. Only 10 years ago, I saw it one more time because I loved it so much. And basically, it talks about British prisoners in the hand of the Japanese. They were in Japanese prisoner camp in Thailand. And the Japanese, they want to build a bridge to help in the war effort and to connect Thailand to Burma to transfer arms and soldiers and so on and so forth. So in any event, they told them that you have to build the bridge, and the colonel, which is Lieutenant Colonel Nicholson was his name. This is Alec Guinness. He told his prisoner that, you know what, let's show the world how genuine the British army is, and how we can do it perfectly and very fast. So they gave him design. He told them this doesn't work. He put another design, and they built it. And it was really magnificent bridge with arches and beautiful and very functional that trains can go on it. So they invested a lot of effort in that bridge. Towards the end of building the bridge, the British asked a commando unit to go destroy the bridge. So they went under the river and they put mines to that right before they open it, that it will blow up. And it happened that only the night before that the bridge is gonna open, the water level of the river dropped, and the wires of the mines were visible. And Colonel Nicholson was on the bridge watching and getting excited, along with the Japanese guy who asked him to build the bridge. They were so proud of their work. He saw the wires. He realized that there is commando of some kind, Americans or British or Australians, that they are trying to blow up the bridge. He sent his people to defuse it, and then there was a skirmish between the British commando and those that Colonel Nicholson sent. And in any event, Colonel Nicholson found himself trying to kill a British commando who was trying to blow up the bridge that he built. And then in the middle of that skirmish, he screamed, what I am doing? And he realized that although he did a tremendous effort to build the bridge, but ultimately it was against his own countries. He was trying to kill a commander of his own country that they were trying to free him. So from here we can see that once somebody invests effort and money and more importantly emotional investment in a project, it will be very, very difficult to part from it, even though it is to his detriment. And this is the real story of this Dvar Torah, that in life we get involved in something that is important, on the surface is important. Colonel Nicholson wanted to show the people that the British Army can do fantastic things. We want to see that we are working to help others and to help ourselves. Very lovely. But when we invest too much in something, then we lose really the real thing. Here Hashem put us on this world. This world is prosdor, is like the lobby or the hallway to go to the world to come. We get entangled in something that is not essential, but because we got entangled so much in it, we don't know our ways. We really don't know the trees from the forest. So the smart person is a person who will sit back, who will see what is what I am here for, and if there is a necessity to part with what we are doing, this is what we should do. We have always to remember that we should first we have to know what to before we get involved. We have to know if this is an essential thing or not. If it's not essential, it's never too late to part with it and cut our losses. Number two, we can also see the wisdom and the rahmanut of the Torah. The Rashi, 1,000 years ago, he did say what later on in France, in his own country, we have Louis XIV, Louis XIV, le roi soleil, that he said that he is God. We don't have that. We have rahmanut. We have that Melech and Nasi cannot treat badly their citizen. We can also learn that if we do something wasteful, somebody is working for nothing and try to curtail it. So we hope that Hashem will give us the wisdom to differentiate between what is essential and what is no, and he will never, if something is essential, that he will never make us waste our effort for nothing except on good things. Shabbat Shalom.